I didn't sleep very well last night. And obviously, Charlie Kirk, political commentator, father, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, was assassinated yesterday. And he was assassinated because he was willing to go out and talk with people that he disagreed with in most instances. He was willing to have that conversation. And while the investigation is ongoing, and, you know, that's not what we're here to talk about today, the reason that I didn't sleep very well last night was obviously, you know, concern for his family and his 2 young children, his wife. But I'm deeply concerned for my country, because Charlie Kirk was one of the few people, and I didn't know the man very well. You know, I met him once, but I know him by his work most prolifically. He was one of the few folks that was willing to go out and debate, conversate, form and unform ideas and positions. And my real concern is that now that this person has been murdered for doing expressly that thing, he was literally killed while doing the debating, while talking to people of whom he did not agree. My concern is that the other folks that are still willing to do that, because it is a subset of the population, will see the result of that kind of outreach and will recoil from it. The void left by the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, I fear, will widen. And as that gulf widens, nature abhors a vacuum. And I don't think America will really like what fills that void. Because as much as the left in this country likes to point fingers and talk about how the right is radicalized and, you know, all that sort of, it's actually pretty difficult for conservatives to become radicalized. It takes a lot of continuous insult for people that just really want to be left alone and mind their own business to really get agitated enough to get to the point where you would call radicalized. Charlie Kirk's broad base of supporters were young folks. And I think the drastic miscalculation of whoever it is that did this was that by striking this man, that it would discourage certain types of rhetoric and ideas. And that is not the way that works. That's not the way that works at all. I mean, it had other supporting factors, but remember that a political assassination started World War I, that became World War II. And because of the actions of that one man, that was really the precipitating action on the underlying factors, the landscape of the planet has drastically changed. And my concern is there is a portion of my community that is never coming back from this. And a lot of them are young folks those folks will have to die out before they let go of something like this. Because we're in unprecedented territory. Never before do we have a political assassination that has been captured in 4K and distributed around the world like that. My wife didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. She's a very apolitical person. And it was served to her almost immediately. So a portion of the next generation, my generation, the generation before mine, has been forever lost to the concept of discussion. And I really fear for my country as a whole, because I think the result is inevitable at this point. I pray that it isn't, but the only outcome that I see from this is that my children will grow up in a world that is less free than the one that I grew up in. And that greatly saddens me.